Hey, what's up, everybody? Grand Rising. Hope you're having a fantastic morning. We have some fun stuff to cover in this episode here. We're going to be talking about a World Economic Forum going on right now, and we're going to be talking about some key people who are there who seem to be acting as a Trojan horse for the forum itself. So we're going to be talking about Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, who of course works with XRP. We're going to be talking about the head of Argentina, who is also heading to the WEF or already has, and has said some interesting things on his way over there. We're going to be talking about the riots and the protests going on all around the world, particularly in Germany, and a bunch of other stuff too. So before we jump into that, let's take a quick look at the crypto markets themselves. And today we can see there's kind of a mix of ups and downs today. In our particular portfolio for the Conscious Crypto Academy, our biggest gainer for the day is Corium so far, which currently is up 14%. Earlier, it was up a little bit higher, around 24%. So the reason that is pumping, in my opinion, is because we have the upcoming Pulsara airdrop. And this airdrop is going to be for the Corium holders who are holding their Corium on the main net. So if you're holding Corium, all you have to do to qualify for this airdrop is make sure that your Corium is not on your Zum wallet, your XRP side, but it's over on your Cosmos Station wallet or your Leap wallet or something on the Cosmos side on the main net of Corium. And if you're totally confused about this and you want to take advantage of free money and opportunities like this, that's what our Conscious Crypto Academy is for. So click the link down below and we focus on Corium, of course, XRP. We also focus on Stronghold, which is another one of our big gainers for the day, up over 12% at the moment. And we focus in general on the ISO 20022 compliant assets, which are the financial technical assets, the fintech assets that are going to be transforming the traditional financial world from the inside out. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the link down below and you can apply to join the academy. So let's go ahead and jump into the fun stuff. So obviously this week, if you didn't know already, the World Economic Forum kicked off and we had world leaders, politicians from all over the world flying out to Davos in Switzerland to meet for this annual forum that Klaus Schwab runs. And I don't need to break down the forum for you guys. If you click this, you obviously already are familiar with it. But let's start off with the first thing that they are saying at the forum is the number one problem in the world right now, which according to them is misinformation. So let's go ahead and just listen to a quick couple seconds of what they say here.
For the global business community, the top concern for the next 2 years is not conflict or climate. It is disinformation and misinformation, followed closely by polarization within our societies. These risks are serious because they limit our ability to tackle the big global challenges.
Oh, and let me translate that for you real quick. They limit the ability to tackle our global challenges, the misinformation, disinformation. And obviously what that really means is information that they can't control is limiting their ability to control you and the people you love. So they're very afraid of the misinformation, disinformation that's going around right now. They're trying to make it look like it's something that is going to upset the balance of the world, when in reality, it's just upsetting the balance of their personal power structures. And I find it interesting that she specifically mentions here that it is creating polarization in the world, and acting like that is a bad thing. And I want to tie this in with basically the consciousness evolution that we're going through in this grand awakening on the planet right now, and how that's based in polarization itself. And what I mean by that is polarization is the foundation through which we evolve. And to me, polarization on the planet, if you break it down in the most simple terms, would be, are you polarizing to be a good person that's servicing others, servicing humanity? Or are you polarizing to be a selfish bastard who's serving themselves and only serving the people who are in their immediate sphere? And obviously that's what these people are doing. They are self-serving. So it's interesting that they want to prevent polarity, because to them, I would imagine what they're describing as polarity is what we're seeing on the worldwide scale of people starting to wake up to this evil and this corruption. And they're like, whoa, 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 slow down. You can't keep polarizing that direction with all this misinformation, disinformation. So I just found that particular choice of words to be interesting in terms of polarity and their lack of control over that polarity. So let's jump ahead here. Another irony with this is that the sex workers in Davos have been fully booked as the WEF is engaging in probably a bunch of drug-fueled bunga sex parties, as Mario Nawfal says here. But in reality, yeah, the local escort website in the Davos area has literally said that they're completely booked during the World Economic Forum week, which is just hilarious to me. And I think it's funny how every year more and more we're seeing the general public become aware of what's going on in Davos and with the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab and all this nonsense. And you see them, you see these members get rushed by the alternative media when they come out of the building. And it's just the beginning of the end for them. And I would even say the end of the end, maybe not even the beginning. The beginning probably was like a decade ago. This is the end of the end for them. And this is one of the reasons why I think it will be the last WEF conference, most likely. We're going to dive into that a little bit more in just a second. But let's talk about Brad Garlinghouse, who was just posting about being at the World Economic Forum. And of course, Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO of Ripple, who is the main developers for the XRP ledger. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I get a really good vibe from Brad Garlinghouse. I think he is working for the greater good. I always leave area to be wrong, but from everything I've seen, he's passed my vibe checks and is literally working to take down the global banking cartels. So you might ask, why is Brad at the World Economic Forum? This is not even his first year. He's been there multiple years as a featured speaker. And you might go, well, that makes it obvious to me that he's obviously aligned with them, right? Well, let's jump ahead for a sec and let's talk. And we're going to come back to what I was just showing you, but let's look at what the president of Argentina, who you've probably seen before, what he said as he was heading to the World Economic Forum. It's a short clip.
¿Cuál es el objetivo del viaje a Davos? Plantar las ideas de la libertad en un foro que está contaminado de la agenda socialista 2030 y que lo único que va a traer es miseria al mundo. Okay. ¿En qué va a basarse la exposición del día miércoles? ¿Cuál es el eje del discurso? Que la libertad es la llave de la prosperidad. ¿Y cuál es el sentido de la reunión con Cristalina Georgieva que va a tener la audiencia el mismo miércoles? Seguir hablando y dejándole bien claro de la convicción que tenemos en este cambio de rumbo que ha marcado el nuevo gobierno. Muchas gracias, presidente.
So, of course, you could take the stance that they're all in on it and it's all one big conspiracy and everyone associated with it is evil. But I don't tend to look at things so black and white. I think that there is a mixture, there is a yin and a yang to all of these energies, to all these gatherings, to politicians, to governments, to bankers. Even when the majority is looking like it is evil, I believe that there is still that bit of good. And so I think it's very interesting what he says here. Not a single other person attending the forum has spoken out in this manner that I've seen, but he said he's going to plant the ideas of freedom in a forum that's contaminated for the socialist agenda. And that the only thing that's going to bring that agenda is misery to the world. And that his objective is that freedom is the key to prosperity. So we have him here saying straight up that, he's going there to plant seeds of freedom in the forum. And I thought this was just very validating of what I've already been getting from Brad Garlinghouse being at the World Economic Forum. And that, they're basically Trojan horses for this system. And of course, if we know, they know, to a degree. It's not like this is some big secret that, me and others are discovering that the forum themselves doesn't know. I assume they know as well, but there's reasons that these figures still have to be invited to maintain their illusion, I would imagine, as well as, probably there are strategic benefits to them. One of them being that I believe Ripple and XRP are going to be fundamental, not just to the freedom movement, to the liberation of humanity, but if these bankers and these other cartels that have been around forever, if they want to stick around and be relevant, they're going to have to jump on board the XRP ledger and everything it's bringing, because the XRP ledger is basically creating a level playing field in the financial world. And if the bankers and the cartels want to stay on that level playing field with us and not fall below it, then they're going to have to also participate. And so it's like a reluctant participants. That's how I see it. They don't want to use XRP, but they're being forced to. And if you want to look deeper into this, look into Ethereum Gate, ETH Gate, which is basically about how JP Morgan and these banking cartels, they basically created Ethereum as an alternative to Ripple and XRP when Ripple and XRP didn't want to play their game early on in the development of these projects. And so they created Ethereum. It came after XRP. And of course, everything with the SEC, all the drama to suppress XRP, suppress Ripple, make them look as bad as possible while simultaneously funding Ethereum, MetaMask, and all these Ethereum related projects. So let's actually listen to what Brad is saying here about XRP at the forum. I'm going to play this real quick.
ETF, don't think we're now going to allow a bunch of other crypto assets. The second interesting thing was the price of Ether skyrocketed immediately after, on hopes that there could now next be an ETH ETF. What are the chances of that?
I think it's a certainty. I think there'll
This
be
year?
other. I'm not going to put a horizon on the time, but I think there will be other ETFs for sure.
An XRP one?
There will be other ETFs for sure.
But an XRP one?
I love this game we play. Look,
Oh, that is such a great example too of what I'm talking about in the energies, and how if you look at Brad, when he comes to the forums over the years and the way that they engage with him, they are constantly on the attack against Brad, against Ripple, against XRP. And yet Brad is able to hold this energy in the space that is just amazing. Like I give him major credit for what he's able to do. And you can see the way, he's like, I love this game we play, because the guy keeps pushing, like, is there going to be an XRP ETF? We got the Bitcoin ETF. And if you don't know what an ETF is, that is an exchange traded fund. It basically is an institutional representation of an asset, in this case, Bitcoin or XRP. And so the Bitcoin ETF was the first crypto ETF approved like last week. And now we're seeing that pave the way for Ethereum and XRP ETF as well. And, basically what this means, how it would apply to you or even your parents or your grandparents' generation, is if you or others have things like mutual funds or, investments, 401k, anything where you are investing with an institutional company, you're a client of theirs, and they are creating a portfolio for you. A lot of people have these mutual funds. They don't know actually what's in them. An ETF would allow for cryptocurrency to be in that portfolio without them even knowing. So that basically means your grandma, your parents, if you're holding these traditional funds, you could now have crypto in your portfolio and not even know it, because the institutions on the back end are now allowed to do that, at least with Bitcoin. And so this would pave the way for institutional buy-ins on a massive level for any cryptocurrency ETF that was approved. And so obviously an XRP ETF would be extremely interesting and would open the doors for a lot of institutional investment into XRP. And so let's finish out this clip real quick.
XRP one?
I love this game we play. Look, I am.
You can tell there's tension there.
That's fine. But look, the sad
Will you do another ETF?
And this is a video of BlackRock's head, Larry Fink, also being asked about an ETF for XRP and not being able to answer.
XRP ETF. I know you've got the Ether out there. We got XRP. Can you answer that? I can't. And you don't want me to. I do. Well, I can't. All right. They're giving me the rap. Thank you.
ETF.
So very clearly, it seems like there is something in the works there that they're not allowed to talk about. And in terms of BlackRock, being historically one of the most probably self-serving and evil corporations out there, at least historically, that's what they've been considered. It is an interesting thing. And I think it plays into what I'm talking about how the banks are going to have to adopt this technology to be on a level playing field. And you can look at it like the internet, right? Like technology is going to want to be used by both good and evil just like the internet. And so the internet has been used for obviously massive amounts of evil, but also massive amounts of good. So I see something like crypto and XRP in the same way. I don't think it can be directly used for evil. Of course, any mode of value could hypothetically, but what's great about the XRP ledger and crypto in general is it's completely transparent, completely public. And this is the new paradigm we're moving into, right? There will be no more hiding anything for anybody, right? Which could be kind of intimidating maybe for people who are coming from the place of, we need to stay private from the government. We need to keep our information private, which I agree in this current paradigm. But the paradigm that we're moving into is one of complete transparency for everybody involved. And that's how I believe that this new golden age we're moving into will work. And that goes for thoughts, that goes for information, that goes for everything. And so that allows for, kind of a societal responsibility in seeing very clearly where the bad actors are. And so in the same respect, I think, whether BlackRock is working for the greater evil, or perhaps in a strange twist of fate, perhaps they are now working for the greater good. I'm not going to say they are, but you never know what kind of crazy curveballs can be thrown in this world that we're living in right now. And so I stay open to everything. But in either case, it's very obvious that XRP is becoming positioned to be a mass adopted tool. And I believe that this is going to be the foundations for what we could call the quantum financial system, which is going to be a system where any form of value can be moved essentially instantly, quantumly, much like the internet has done for information, but now for money and value. And this will affect everyone. Imagine being able to move money anywhere you want, anywhere in the world, to anybody as easily as sending a text. No more, do you have PayPal? Do you have Venmo? Does your bank, is it going to go through in time? Like, oh, it's a weekend, like 5 days plus the weekend. All that nonsense is phasing out. And that's how the cartels have kept their power over the decades, is those parasites on the system, those constraints on the financial system. And so I believe XRP is going to be a primary catalyzing force in liberating the financial system, and consequently liberating humanity from its financial freedoms and the things that will ripple out on top of those financial freedoms, which most of our freedoms are built on our financial freedoms. So when you take that power structure away from those that have been siphoning that energy, and the energy is allowed to flow back to the people, it's going to create some massive changes. So just to add on to that real quick, I thought it was interesting that Brad Garlinghouse, he posted LFG 2024 is going to be big. And he was actually speaking at 4:20 p.m. Central Time in Davos. So I thought that was just really hilarious and kind of a fun nudge from the universe about the playfulness of this, and how, him saying LFG also being a playful thing, how even with the darkness of what we see going on at the forum, we have these figures here who are, not that one, figures like Brad, figures like Malay, who are, seeding those seeds of consciousness and of freedom into that space. So I think that's really cool. And then here we have, in this greater clip, he talked about the Treasury not opposing, I believe he was talking about an XRP ETF, but he might have been talking about a stable coin. But in either case, he talked about the Treasury not opposing it, and it connects to this Mr. Poole post about senators have a deal on the crypto amendment and Treasury won't oppose it. And this ties into the greater theme of what I believe is going on, which is a massive shift in the US financial system that's going to start with the Fed, potentially the abolition of the Fed, moving into the Treasury. We don't know how that's going to play out, but there's been a lot of theories. But either way, it seems through drops from Mr. Poole and what we've seen directly that the evidence is pointing toward that we have some massive positive changes on the horizon in terms of cryptocurrency and how it's going to be used to liberate the people. So in similar news, here's a clip from Germany where there is massive crowds. And this is a clip. I don't know what they're saying. If you speak German, please translate what this means. But just listening to it even gave me chills. So let's take a look.
Alle zusammen gegen den Faschismus! Alle zusammen gegen den Faschismus! Alle zusammen!
Whew. So this is another reason why I think this is going to be the last forum. And I realize this is Germany and not, Switzerland, but this sentiment, this energy is rising up all across Europe, all across the world. It's not getting televised here. The mainstream media is not talking about it, but there is a massive uprising going on across the planet in many countries, and in particular Germany. And so this energy is showing me, and I just feel intuitively that it's very likely this is going to be the last forum that they're hosting. That could also tie into what we're seeing with the presidential race, and a lot of theories that this is not going to actually occur in terms of the big E word that we're not allowed to say. That might not actually occur, that there might be something of an emergency sort that pops up for good or for bad. Who knows who's going to catalyze it? But either way, I feel like if we don't end up getting the big E word in the United States this year, then it will whether it's, if it's at first done for purposes of evil, so be it, but in the big picture, I think that's going to catalyze the change that we need on the systemic level, and create a kind of I guess you could say a power vacuum, but maybe that's not right, but more of an opportunity for the people to come in and then establish what they want to be the new system. And so I have a good feeling overall. It feels like 2024 is going to be the collapsing of a lot of old paradigms, and 2025 is going to be the rebirth of those newer paradigms that are going to be coming in, the rebirth of what it means to be actually living in a society that is based on our heart connection and our connection to God, source, creator, and not one of division amongst religion and spirituality and different gods, but realizing we're all praying to the same God. There's only one infinite creator. It's the one that every religion should be connecting to, but maybe they're not. But overall, I think that this energy is going to be coming in and really shifting 2025 and onward. And so here's a clip we saw of Trump and Vivek together. There's speculation that they, could be running together, that Trump may make Vivek his VP pick. I thought this was interesting because there was a lot of controversy around Vivek, and I don't even know where I stand on it, but in terms of him being kind of an Obama 2.0 figure and coming in with, a charming personality and a cunning tongue and being able to say things that please people. Truth be told, I had been liking Vivek, and I still get a good vibe from him, but I'm open definitely to the fact that he could be a snake, and I'd like to see more evidence if that's the case. Trump coming out and saying what he did was kind of evidence towards that direction. If you didn't see that, he posted on Truth Social prior to Vivek stepping down that he was basically a vote for the other side. And so perhaps that should be taken at face value, or perhaps that was 5D chess and the art of war, right? So this could be an art of war scenario where it looks like they're against each other. You want to confuse your enemy. If we're confused, then the enemy is confused. And that's how the art of war works. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But we have seen Vivek now officially endorse Trump. So, I think that was a good move for him, regardless of what his true intentions are. So we'll see moving forward what happens. And let me know down below what you think of Vivek and what you think, who you think Trump's VP pick is going to be. And to round this out, here's a fun photo posted by Graffinati on X. We are going quantum into the golden age. So just a fun little synchronicity here with the Trumps, and behind them you see a quantum picture and their thumbs up. And I'm not saying that this was done intentionally. Who knows? Maybe it was. But the universe speaks to us in very interesting ways and through patterns and synchronicity. And this channel has been largely about this shift into the quantum age, and using XRP as the basis of the new quantum financial system. And so I think this is a very validating factor in that whole theory. So that is it for today. Thank you guys for hanging out. It's been fun. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day. Much love. Take care, everyone.